guys. Welcome to the Daily Play with Joy Taylor. Thanks so much for joining us. Make sure you hit subscribe and follow us on social at the Daily Play Joy Taylor. Hope you all had an amazing weekend. It certainly was if you're an NBA fan. The first round of the NBA playoffs wrapped up on Sunday night with two Game 7s for NBA fans to enjoy. One thing about me, I love me a Game 7. So the Pistons started it off, making the Magic disappear in Detroit. Cade Cunningham and Tobias Harris both went for 30, and Jenkins kicked in 16 off the bench. The Magic are the 15th team to give up a 3-1 series lead in NBA playoffs history. And, you know, it was a pretty tough thing to watch after the Magic went up 2-0 in this series. Head coach Jamal Mosley referenced Kobe and saying the job's not done. Well, he was right. The job certainly was not done, and the Magic's season is over. Overall, it was a great series. It was probably a little more embarrassing on the Detroit Pistons side of things because they were the number 1 seed, but they got out of there. The Magic season's over, and Detroit will be moving on to play the Cleveland Cavaliers after a 114-102 win over the Toronto Raptors in a Game 7 on Sunday night. Despite the Raptors' attempt to claw back into the series behind Scotty Barnes and RJ Barrett, the Cavs regained their composure, and Jarrett Allen was the anchor. Monster performance, 22 points, 19 rebounds, and Donovan Mitchell added 22 of his own, and also a huge jump into the stands. Lots of effort in this game. After the game, Mitchell spoke about the mentality of finally finishing off a tough Toronto squad. He said, we didn't want to let it get to that point, but Game 7s are what you live for. Toronto's a tough physical team. They never stop fighting, especially after that Game 6 shot. We knew we had to dominate the glass and control the pace tonight. So I don't know if Cleveland is a contender after the series. They barely escaped a Toronto team, and it took 7 games and historic rebounding night from Jarrett Allen. I mean, this whole series was very back and forth. I don't think it was as lopsided as people thought. I just am not sure about what they are capable of as far as winning a championship. Backcourt's still a little shaky. James Harden disappearing for stretches of the games, which, you know, is actually pretty normal, but they're going to need to count on him in big moments. And I think based off the way that the Pistons and Cavs series both went, I think we'll get another long series between the two of them. And I don't know if either of them are real contenders for the chip. So in other NBA news, the Lakers are moving on after a dominant 20-point win in Houston on Friday night, officially eliminating the Rockets. Despite the tired legs and absence of Luka, LeBron and Austin Reeves took control, built an 18-point halftime lead, and after the win, LeBron spoke about the pride he took in closing this out on the road. He said, we didn't want to go back to LA for Game 7. We knew the pressure was on them to stay alive, and we wanted to be the aggressors. Austin Reeves being back in the lineup just changes our geometry. It gives us that extra brain on the floor. Now we get a couple days to rest before we head to OKC, and that's a different beast, but we're ready for the challenge. They had a 98-78 victory over Houston. I do think that having Austin back is very important. I would agree with LeBron on that, but I don't know if they're going to go to OKC with fresh legs. LeBron still had to give you a pretty hard 35 minutes. And, you know, Shea and the Thunder have been resting since Monday, closing their series out in a sweep. So the Lakers needed every ounce of energy to get past that Rockets team, even if they didn't make it to 7. So they're now going to go face the defending champs, who are faster, younger, rested, healthier. Unless Luka can magically walk through the door, which they're hoping to get him back for Game 1 or Game 2, but obviously he's been out for a while. I don't know if this is going to be a long series. I hope so. I hope it's competitive. As I said earlier, I love a Game 7. I would love to see this be some sort of historic type of matchup, but, you know, I know everyone's going to say the Thunder swept the regular season series. I don't think the Lakers are going to get swept. That's not on the table for me. I don't think that's going to happen, and I don't much care about regular season series when it comes to the playoffs. The adjustments are, you know, way more intense in the postseason, but mostly this is just hope that it's a longer series because I just want LeBron in the playoffs for longer. So the Sixers also Saturday night, woo, they have done the impossible. A historic 3-1 series comeback, dethroning the number 2 seed Boston Celtics with a 109-100 Game 7 victory. I was so impressed with the Sixers. Now, Jason Tatum was sidelined due to a last-minute knee injury, and they lack the firepower to stop Joel Embiid. 34 points and 12 rebounds, and they are going to the Eastern Conference semifinals for a date with the New York Knicks. Really, really, really crazy series. Really crazy game. Tyrese Maxey spoke about finally breaking the Boston curse. He said we had a chance to beat them 3 years ago and didn't do it. We came in and got it done tonight. Our fans deserve a win, especially after the performance we put on earlier in the series. I'm proud of this team. That's the dominance that you go into a playoff game with. I don't care about Jason Tatum not playing. Listen, there's injuries. It happens. That's the way that it goes. There's no asterisk on this. Like, the Celtics had every opportunity to win with him on the floor. They lost this series, which I say all the time about Boston, because they became addicted to the 3-point and didn't want to attack the rim. The Sixers aren't lucky. They're very resilient. They have a really talented team. They came together. Everyone contributed at a very high level. I don't know what this next series is going to look like. I don't think they're going to bully the Knicks, and the Knicks are not afraid of the paint, and it's going to be a very different matchup when we're talking about going up against the Knicks and Karl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson. It's going to be very different. I do think this will be another long series, maybe not a Game 7, and I'm going to probably pick the Knicks in this series, but I am still so impressed with what the Sixers were able to do. Just really amazing, and I'm sure we're going to be talking about what the Celtics plan is for a long time to come. So let's get into some NFL news, all right? The Ravens and Diego Pavia are a big story right now. Diego Pavia was a baller at Vanderbilt, then he went undrafted. He became the first Heisman finalist to go undrafted in over a decade, 12 years, but the Ravens signed him. And new Baltimore head coach Jesse Winters says that the undrafted rookie needs to accept the challenge. He said, so now that he's in the door, it's like, show us what you can do. And just like all the undrafted rookies, that's what I would say. We see it as an opportunity to bring in a player that could potentially be something. And that's really what's in it for us. Now, this was obviously controversial because he was a Heisman finalist and he had an incredible college season, obviously being a Heisman finalist. He was a Heisman runner-up and first-team All-American at Vanderbilt, but his size was a factor. He's 5'10", and the pre-draft process, he wasn't really great. And here's the thing about this snub. It's not just about height. Bryce Young and Kyler Murray both were number 1 overall picks. They're not that tall, okay? So you could still be, quote-unquote, short and go number 1. He was an undrafted free agent because he spent the draft process giving red flags to teams. And I really believe that when you're talking about the quarterback position, you are going to be evaluated well above and beyond every other position is evaluated. And they're looking for reasons not to take you. They're not looking for reasons to take you. They want to make sure that they are making the right choice when it comes to drafting that position. And listen, it's one of the hardest, if not the hardest position to evaluate. There are always busts. So, in their own way, they kind of won by being able to get him in the door as an undrafted rookie. But now's your opportunity to show what you can really do. And I think this is probably a good lesson that, what you do in college is important in the resume that you put together. But when it comes to the draft process, everything gets elevated to a whole nother level. So I'm really interested to see how this goes with him there and how it all turns out. For more on this and other top stories of the day, tune into the Daily Play with Joy Taylor at urban1podcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts.